But of this, he has 5 qualifications then. The first one is he had a proper worldview. I've had some amazing teachers that didn't have the right worldview. One of the greatest speakers I've heard in my life was President Bill Clinton. Phenomenal speaker. Phenomenal speaker. He could pull the heartstrings, say the right phrases, and pull people in. Proper worldview? Debatable. The second one is knowledge of the subject material, the subject matter. Christ, all throughout his speaking, is layering it with references from the Old Testament, the Hebrew text, pulling into the current context, the geographical world, the natural world. He is layering his teaching because his knowledge of the subject matter is intense. And we often miss that. Often you would ask somebody what type of level or what type of elite status was Christ as a teacher, and most people will say he was almost a peasant-style teacher, simple teacher. But you dive into his teachings, and it's amazing. The depth of it is incredible. The third one is he had knowledge of his hearer or the student that's listening. He often would ask the right question specifically for that person. And fourth, we understand his ability in teaching. And fifth, the character was worth imitating. There's nothing like listening to a teacher that doesn't match the message. So why did this greatest teacher, why did Christ use stories as the foundation of establishing truth? Because we think stories are for kids. Stories are something that just to learn a few things, that's where it begins. But our brains love stories. Anytime you hear once upon a time or in the beginning or, hey, I got to tell you something that happened to me yesterday, immediately you're at attention. Why? Because we love stories. Now, scientifically, they found out that when somebody is telling a story, the same areas of the brain fire of those of the listener. When I tell you a story, my brain is firing the exact same way that your brain is firing in listening to it. They call it mirroring or neural coupling. The exact same part of our brains are interacting. It is the only method that this happens. You could listen to a lecture on scientific data, a historical lecture, but only when it starts to begin breaking into a story do those mechanisms begin to fire together, and that connection is made. That's why when we're watching a dancing light bulb on a screen, we start clapping and enjoying it. Why? It's a story. It breaks through those barriers with us, and Christ was a master storyteller.